moment, or I have it on the watch. I had it on the watch list, but I'll start to reevaluate that. Euro yen. It says here that let me just zoom in a little bit. We do think, however, the euro yen has a downside bias, and I think so too. Since the dollar yen can fall further, then the euro dollar can rally. The yen is more undervalued in the medium term, according to our models. And equally, the Bank of Japan is still minded to hike rates and more minded to give Washington the stronger currency or weaker dollar that it craves, right? So if that is the case, right, if going into negotiations, the US say, okay, we want you guys to have a stronger currency, which actually would suit the yen, right, and the Bank of Japan. So can anyone explain, or does anyone have an idea as to why a stronger yen at the moment will benefit the yen, and a weaker? I've already explained why a weaker dollar would help the US, but can anyone understand? Have a go at explaining why a stronger yen would actually help the Bank of Japan? You can turn your mic on, by the way, if you want, if it makes it easier to explain. Does anyone want to turn their mic on, or do you want me to explain quickly? I was just thinking if anyone can see this coming. Yeah, no, all right, cool. What I'll do is I'll do it, and I'll just say, because I thought maybe someone might want to turn their mic on. Higher prices, lower spending. No. So think about it. Think about where we are in terms of inflation. Yeah. So inflation. 1 second. Where's my pen tool? Here it is. Right. So remember, inflation. I think the Japanese inflation is 3.7%. Then that is basically saying that the currency, remember, rising inflation means that the currency is devaluing, right? So it's a devalue. Yeah, the higher it goes, the more it devalues. So if anything, yeah, a stronger, this is, when you have a central bank that is hiking rates, yeah, hiking rates, remember, a hiking rates is designed, or the effect of hiking rates is supposed to counter devaluation, right? It's supposed to create demand and make the currency appreciate, yeah, to counter devaluation, yeah. So if they can negotiate somehow a stronger yen, yeah, without even having to potentially hike rates, then that already suits the Japanese and the Bank of Japan and the economy, because guess what? You don't have to hike borrowing and lending costs for that hurts the economy, or not hurts the economy, but for businesses, if you keep hiking rates, and of course, if borrowing and lending costs, it can have a bit of a negative impact on the economy, right? So if they can do that, right, and imagine America can agree somehow to, and Japan can somehow agree that the dollar yen exchange rate should go down, meaning the dollar gets weaker and the yen gets stronger, right? That negates the need for a hike, yeah, and that should bring down inflation anyway. Does that make sense? Yeah, and imports cheaper. Well, imports cheaper depending on which side you're on. But does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Yep. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So yeah, stronger currency for the yen. It's a win-win for both of them at the end of the day. It's a win for the Bank of Japan because they don't necessarily have to hike rates. Yeah. And they can get their inflation back down to their 2% target. Yeah. And it's a win for the US because they can then have a cheaper exchange rate, which means that they can possibly sell more goods and services in Japan. All right. So it looks like a potential win-win. There's obviously going to be downsides to both, right? But ultimately, if they can come to some sort of mutual agreement, then that makes, all the sense in the world. So it does look like the dollar yen really should be on the list for a sell. So I'm actually as a trade idea now, that's going to be on the list. Where's my dollar yen? I had it on the watch list, but now, in fact, I think I'm definitely going to have that more as a sell. That's going to be on there. Right. Euro pound. I have seen people put trade in the euro pound, and I can definitely understand why. So euro pound, it says here, a dovish ECB could keep euro pound restrained in the near term. However, euro